Alrighty, so today you will be starting off with this paper at the door. Okay, it's got your spiral review that we grade on accuracy. Okay, remember you need to show your work, so I should see your steps for solving inequality, and then graph whether it's open, closed, left, or right. Okay, proportionality, this is kind of similar to what we did yesterday for one of our questions, but taking it one step farther where you're actually then creating an equation. So you need to find out, you're kind of finding the scale factor and then putting that as the equation. Okay, composite figure, use the information you have, and then you need to find some of the other information, like what's the height over in, okay, so what would the height be right here? You will need to know that. Okay, if this is 2 feet here, remember that's 2 feet there as well. Circle, I forgot to put the formula for you guys. So remember, it is A equals pi r squared, and then you're leaving it in terms of pi, so your answer should have a number, the symbol pi, and then meters cubed, no, squared, area squares. Your thinking task is on, oops, it's not letting me scroll now. Take a pen off. It's nagging on me, of course. No, I don't want that. Sorry. There we go. So you're thinking task, you have the golden apples, kind of a word problem. This is one that when I worked it out myself, I kind of worked backwards. I started with what he had and figured out what he would have after seeing or before going into the third roll, then to the second, and then I double checked it working through if that number actually worked. So that's some tips for that one. Once you're done with that, you can turn the paper in. Okay, now you should only spend about 5 to 10 minutes on the thinking task and 6 minutes on your spiral review, trying to keep so you're not wasting too much time on one thing. Okay, then you're going to go to Canvas, and we have a post survey that you will do. So when you get into our page, remember you go to assignments, or you might even see it over down below where it says, but not everybody has that set up where you can see it that way. So it will say post career quest form, and there's some directions there for you as well for today. So there's a slideshow. You'll click on the link and it opens a slideshow. Okay, kind of gets you to kind of think about what do you remember from last week from the 3 sections you went to. Okay, what are some things to have in thought, because you're going to do then this form. You click the red rectangle, and then it takes you to this, and then you're going to hit start. I'm not sure how many questions there actually is. This was created by the company that put on the trip that we went to last week. Okay. Alright, then once you are done with that, you can get your slope project from the sub. All of the projects I collected yesterday were put into piles compared to what class you were in. Okay, so as long as you put your name on it, you should be able to find it. Make sure you are then turning that in. So in case anyone wasn't there, so when you graph, you're going to graph your 3 from each column that you picked. Okay, so you should need 3 from each column. You'll graph them. You can use the table order pairs to help you with the graphing. Okay, I know 2 of my classes I did this with first hour. I believe we did not go over this one. Alright, so if I want to pick, say this one here. Your very first one is considered the x-intercept. So the negative 10, 0 is an x-intercept. That means when you're on the coordinate plane, you're crossing here when x is negative 10. Your y-intercept, when x is 0, you cross the y-axis at positive 10. And so then you'll graph them to make another line. To find your slope, you're going to have to use the formula. It's been a while since we've used it, so that's why I'm working one out with you. And then your x2 minus... Now, that's just your formula. So these are your x's, this is your y's. The 2 and 1 just means the second set or the first set. So our second set's the y bottom one. So I start with 10 minus 0, and then I put my x's on the bottom. If I started with this 10, I gotta start with that 0. So 0 minus negative 10. So then you get 10 over 10, which is 1. So our slope is 1, which is positive. Okay. So then say I want to do another one. Say we do this one here. Okay. The first one is my x-intercept. The next one is my y-intercept. And then again I use my formula. Negative 16 minus 0, because that came from these. And then 0 minus negative 12. So we get negative 16 over a positive 12. And then the slope is always in reduced form. You can divide both by 4 to get a negative 4/3 as your final slope. And that is a negative slope. Then you need to choose one more out of the ones we haven't done. If you happen to get one where 0's on the bottom, that is a unidentified slope. Okay, if you get one where 0 is on top of your fraction, your numerator, then that's a 0 slope. Okay. Once you have that, and your tables are all done, you will then, and this was the grading rubric, so that you know how I'm grading. This is your graph. Okay, so y goes up and down, and I believe the top number goes up to 16, and then this is your x, and it goes all the way to 12. So if that goes to 12, then this is negative 12. Then at the top goes up to 16, this is negative 16. I'm okay if you want to number your axis, that's okay. Now, if you read on the first page, it gives you every set of directions that you need to follow. Okay, these are from page 4 that I just did. Okay, you worked yesterday on doing steps 1 through 3. Okay, so your job now is to do 4 and 5, finish up page 4, and then 10 and 11 is making it finalized. Okay, so when you graph, you also need to write the equation with the line. So if you do something wrong, I can tell which equation you did wrong. It's a lot easier that way. Okay, so if I graph x equals 4. X equals 4 is a vertical, so I found my 4. 1, 2, 3. Here is where x equals 4. Okay, then I find another order pair that's on there. I can tell you because it's unidentified, we can just make a straight vertical line. So we can go from here, and this is where you're going to use rulers as well. And I'll go all the way to the bottom. Zoom out enough. And I'll go in and then label that as x equals 4. And then I move on to the next one. And so you should have 3 vertical lines after you're done with the first column. Okay. Then go to the second column once you've done those 3. And we do the y equals. Y equals a number are all vertical, not horizontal lines. So if we do y equals 3, I find when y is 3 on there. So 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just going to make a line that goes all the way across. That only works for the first 2 columns. The other ones you're going to have to use your table. And that was y equals 3. Okay. Now when we go to our next columns, let's use, this is a student's that I scanned. Okay, I have y equals 2x plus 6. Here are my order pairs. Okay, I know I have a 6 and 18 won't fit, so I can't graph that one. That's okay, it's on a table, but I can't fit it on the graph. So we're going to use at least the -4, -2, and 0, 6. So -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So there is my -4, -2. And then I gotta find 0, 6, which is right there. And then you use your ruler and you make a line going all the way across. I'm gonna at least start with that, and then I'm gonna keep going all the way across. And I'll do the same going that way. Notice my lines are all the way across the paper. I'm not just doing dot to dot. And then you're going to have 3 positive slopes as well. That was y equals 2x plus 6. And let's get one more in there, and then we'll talk about what you do in between. Y equals a -x minus 9. So again, I can't fit that one in. I can only do those 2, and that's okay. As long as you have 2 order pairs, you can pretty much figure it out. Or you can use what you know your slope is. So 6, -3. 4, 5, 6, and 3. And then 0, -9. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. I'm double checking myself here. Because it should have a negative slope. Oh, it's a -6 here. That's why. I was like, wait, I know it's supposed to be -6 slope. Alright, so I gotta erase that one right here. We're not using that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Alright. There's that one. And that's where again you'll use your ruler. Go all the way across. Let's start here and go across. And then go from here across. And some of your lines are going to be at the same points. Add some that had same order pairs, and that's fine. Once you're done, you're going to have 15 lines, because you even do those y-intercepts where we had -10 and 0 and +10. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I also have a line going on right there as well. You're going to have a lot of different shapes going on. And there's going to be triangles and trapezoids and everything. Once you're done, your job is then also to go in and you will color in all of these little shapes to make it look like a stained glass window. Okay, you use different colors. Those are in the back of the room. So then I would find another spot and like, oh, here's a triangle. I can color it right there. Okay. If you do it neatly, it will look fabulous. I've done this before many years, and it's normally a good turnout at the end of it. Alright, so today focus on getting everything graphed. If you haven't finished your tables, you need to finish your tables for sure. So Tuesday, so if we have everything completely finished, here to have my graph scan. This is when I started as well. So then you would go in and start coloring. Okay. It'll come out really good. Okay. I will be in the building. I will try to stop when possible, or if you really have a question, you can email me. But other than that, just try to stay focused. It's our last Friday. Let's end it on a positive note. Alrighty. Have a good weekend.